So as I've been working on my new portable sawmill, I've been trying to figure things out as I go. I was doing some slabs. This is red oak, and it's like, I don't know, some of them are that thick, some of them are like 1.5 inches. And I'm just basically practicing. This was a 6.5-foot log. It wasn't useful to turn it into any kind of lumber, so I said I'm going to do some slabs and maybe I can make something out of it in the future. But I'm learning very quickly that the drying process is difficult. I mean, you need to be very organized. You need to have different slots for different sizes of lumber. You need to have a whole bunch of these stickers. The stickers is just what you slide in between the planks so that you're not having the wood drying against another wet wood. It's not going to dry, it's going to get moldy and so forth. So you need little blocks of wood in between. But you always got to stay ahead of the game because you run out of those quickly. I have a bunch of 6x6s on the ground. I've leveled it all, and I started putting these boards there, and now I'm just going to put these on top. And these are the stickers that I'm putting, of course, to make sure that there's an air movement all throughout these boards. I will, of course, eventually have a better setup because this is all going to get roofed in at one point. I even have room on the back to design some kind of a solar kiln, although I would need to get rid of a few more trees just because a solar kiln, obviously, you want the sun to have access to it. And the solar kiln idea is to expedite the drying process because some woods take forever to dry. But this is okay for now. I'm just obviously getting going with my mill, and I'm just using a tarp to cover this right now. It's a pain in the butt, I tell you, but it's okay because all in a learning process. By the time I get enough lumber to build my shack over here, I'm gonna be a pro. Some wild turkeys up there. See the turkeys? They're right in our driveway. There's Olive. She doesn't see the turkeys. There's a bunch of babies there too. They're bigger than our turkeys. They're coming right close to the house too, eh? Oh, they heard something. They're running away. I've measured out a couple of these. That one there in particular is 22 feet long, but it curves at the end, so it's not perfectly straight. So once you get it on the mill, you figure the blade's gonna go like this, and once you get to the end, it's not gonna get you a proper beam because the wood is not right. So the key in finding the big ultimate main beam that's going to go across the front of the shed is to find a tree in the forest that's really long, really thick, and perfectly straight. So I don't think I have that yet. This log right here, this big one, it's really nice. It's 16 feet. So I think that'll turn into some nice roof rafters. I can probably get maybe 6 2x10s. That would make some really good rafters, I think. This poplar right here is about 12 feet long. It's pretty thick on one end, so I'll be able to turn that into a 6x6, but I'm not quite sure as it gets up to the tapered end here, it's not going to be a 6x6. And those are the other concerns, obviously, when I'm building this shed, because I'm going to follow the same roof pitch as this workshop. So really, if you think about it, that's about 9 feet tall. It doesn't have to be 9 feet tall. Maybe this side can be 8 feet tall, just tall enough so that I'm not going to hit my head when I'm walking around under there. The trouble is the post is going to be 4 feet in the ground, and it needs to be 8 feet tall. So you need a 12-foot post, and I'm going to need probably 3 or 4 posts back here. So that's 12 6x6 posts that I'm going to need for the inside lower slant. The other slant, that's going to be a lot higher. So it's probably going to be a 16-foot post, 4 feet in the ground, you know. So anyways, I'm just kind of figuring all that out right now. But I'm going to go ahead and get that poplar up simply because it's the first one that's available, and get it on the mill and see how we can go ahead and make this a 12-foot post. You can see the difficulty you have when you're dealing with logs that aren't straight. So it's pretty much flat touching the bunks, all the way across, but as it reaches over here, it bunks up. I I've seen a lot of channels that are running a sawmill with a little laser attached, so it really helps you guide where your cut's gonna go. I'll probably end up doing something like that in the future. I really like this Honda engine because it's very quiet, you know, like really quiet. Like the tractor has an engine, the Kawasaki's pretty quiet, the mule, it's pretty quiet too. I have the saw, I have the log splitter by Champion. It's loud, really loud. If you're not wearing ear protection, forget about it. But this is the quietest engine of all of that equipment. That's not too shabby, but I think because of the little uptick in the end there, I don't think I'm going to get a 12-foot post. You can see it's all perfect up to here, right here. And then it starts to curve up like that. And even when I cut this last piece to make the cant, it's just a little bit too small to make a 6x6. And now this is like 4 inches. So more than likely, I'll have to cut it off right here. Okay, so right where it starts to bend here, that's not quite 10 feet. It's 9 feet, 7 inches right here. So I'll probably have to cut it off and I'll just turn it into a 9-foot post. And then from here to here will just be firewood. And it is what it is, you know, you gotta find the logs that are best for what it is you wanna do. And right now I'm looking to figure out what lumber I need to build this sawmill shed structure. And I thought I could have got a 12-foot post out of it, 4 feet in the ground, 8 feet above. And that would be for that side of the shed. I'm just trying to get myself a little post action here. So I already have this post. I think it's a maple wood. It's like a 9-foot post, and then now this one is 9 foot 7 inches. So I'll be able to turn that into a 9-footer also. So far it's been a lot of fun working on this sawmill, figuring it out, detailing how exactly I'm going to build this sawmill shed. I figure I have August, September, October, November. I got 4 months to get her done. I'm a hard worker by nature, shouldn't be a problem. Now if you're not already, subscribe to the channel, would you please? And we do all sorts of sawmill stuff now that I got my HM136 Max from Woodland Mills all ready, set up, and cutting pretty much whenever I feel like it, so that's a bonus. But we do all sorts of other farm stuff. We got a whole bunch of livestock animals. We do all sorts of building. There's lots of equipment around the place, and we're doing our best to build up our farm to give ourselves a better future. Well, until the next Saturday Sawmill video, we'll see you on the next episode, okay? You guys take care.